Between April and June of 1994, almost 1 million Rwandans were killed in the span of 100 days, just a little over 3 months. Most of the dead were Tutsis, and most of those who carried out the acts of violence were Hutus. To understand how the genocide happened in Rwanda, we first need to understand that there was a history of violence. Problems between the Hutus and the Tutsis in Rwanda was nothing new. There have always been disagreements between the majority Hutus and the minority Tutsis, but the fighting between them has increased a lot since the colonial period. The two ethnic groups are actually very similar. They speak the same language, inhabit the same areas, and follow the same traditions. Tutsis, however, are often taller and thinner than the Hutus. Belgian colonists also believed that the Tutsis had more European-like facial features and were therefore a superior race. When the colonists first arrived in 1916, they made all the Rwandans carry identity cards that said whether they were Hutu or Tutsi, their ethnicity. The Belgians believed the Tutsis were superior to or better than the Hutus. The Tutsis welcomed this idea, and for the next 20 years they were given better jobs and educational opportunities than their Hutu neighbors. Anger gradually built up in the Hutus. This led to a series of riots in 1959, when 20,000 Tutsis were killed, and many more had to run away to the neighboring countries of Burundi, Tanzania, and Uganda to get away from the violence. When Belgium gave control of Rwanda back to its people in 1962, the Hutu majority took over the government as the ruling party. Over the following decades, the Tutsis were blamed for almost all the problems in the country. The systematic oppression of Hutus by Tutsis was suddenly reversed. This was still the case in the years before the genocide. The economic situation was getting very bad in the country, and the Hutu president was losing his popularity. At the same time, Tutsis who had fled the country for safety were forming a group called the Rwandan Patriotic Front. They wanted to get rid of the Hutu president and to be able to return to their homeland. They made many threats to the Hutu-controlled government in Rwanda. This led to even more tensions between the Tutsis and the Hutus. And when the Hutu president's plane was shot down at the beginning of April 1994, it was the final nail in the coffin.